Before Rani Lakshmibai picked up a sword, there was a queen from Tamil Nadu who demolished the British. A queen whose name we seem to have lost to history. Her name was Rani Velu Nachiyar. By the mid 1700s, the British East India Company that had entered our land under the guise of trade had revealed their true form. They had gone from merchants to tyrants. Villages were burned, crops seized, children starved, taxes doubled, and yet our kings signed treaties, their thrones sold. But not everyone bowed. Rani Velu Nachiyar was no ordinary royal. She spoke Tamil, Telugu, Urdu, French, and English. She could fence like a warrior, ride like the wind, and strategize like a seasoned general. Though she was raised in comfort, she was unknowingly being shaped for a war only she could lead. At 22, she married the king of Sivaganga, Muthu Vaduganatha Thevar, a noble ruler beloved by his people. Together they ruled with justice, with peace prevailing, until the unthinkable happened. In 1772, the British, aided by the Nawab of Arcot, a wily traitor from a neighboring kingdom, invaded Sivaganga. Her husband was brutally assassinated, her kingdom seized, her people enslaved. They thought that they had shattered her. Instead, they had awakened the lioness. Where others might have given in to grief, Rani Velu Nachiyar, clutching her infant daughter to her chest, outsmarted the British and Arcot armies that were baying for her blood, managing to escape into exile. For 8 long years, she lived in the shadows, plotting her revenge. She forged alliances, not with kings, but with warriors. She sought the help of Hyder Ali of Mysore, amongst the few leaders who had not yet kissed the British boot. And he saw her for what she was, not a widow, not a refugee, but a warrior. He gave her weapons, troops, and a dream. She trained soldiers. She built India's first ever women's army, the Udayal Force, named after a fearless girl warrior. And then came the moment. In 1780, Rani Velu Nachiyar rode back to Sivaganga. British forces held a palace that was now heavily guarded. So, how do you defeat a British army with endless weapons? You strike straight at its heart. Rani Velu Nachiyar had a plan and a soldier. Udayal, a young, fearless girl, walked into the enemy's armory with flames in her eyes and fire in her hands. Here, she set herself ablaze, sacrificing herself for the cause. There was a deafening explosion. The Rani's army charged, swords flashing like lightning, eyes burning with vengeance, courage in every step. And that day, Rani Velu won. She took back her kingdom. But she didn't just reclaim Sivaganga. She reclaimed dignity, sovereignty, and hope for a country still too scared to dream of freedom. For the next 10 years, she ruled Sivaganga with justice, wisdom, and strength. She then passed on her throne to her daughter, the infant she had escaped with nearly 2 decades prior, now trained as a leader, as fearless as her mother. Rani Velu Nachiyar passed on in 1796, long before 1857, before the slogans, before Gandhiji, before the ink on the constitution had dried. Long before India knew the word freedom, she bled for it, she burned for it, and she fought for it. History seems to have forgotten one of India's first revolutionaries, but we should not. Rani Velu Nachiyar.